I never thought my own parents would choose a thief over me, especially when that thief was my brother and I was the one he'd robbed blind. So, you have to understand where I'm coming from with this. I'm 23, and I've had to fight for every single thing I have. I never got handouts, not even from my own family. Growing up, it was painfully clear that I was the invisible kid, the one who was expected to be perfect, but always left to figure things out on my own. My younger brother, Jason, on the other hand, he could do no wrong. He's 20 now, but he was always the center of their universe. He got the new clothes, the latest gadgets, the trips. He was the golden child. Me? I had to grind. And that's fine. I'm not bitter. Okay, maybe a little. But I always thought one day I'd finally earn their respect. But then Jason crossed a line that I honestly didn't think he was capable of. See, I've always been responsible with money. I had to be. I knew nobody was going to bail me out. My credit was solid. I even had a side hustle doing resumes for people. I wasn't rich, but I was making it work. Jason, not so much. My parents paid for everything, his car, his college, all of it. He never had to worry about a single bill. He had it easy, and I had a front row seat to the whole show. But this was a whole different level. It all started about 3 months ago. It was a Saturday night. I just gotten home from a 12-hour shift, totally exhausted, and I was just winding down. I have this habit of checking my finances before bed. Just a quick look. But that night, something was wrong. My stomach just dropped. I saw multiple charges totaling over $5,000. They were spread across several of my credit cards. Some are from places I'd never even heard of. In a full-blown panic, I started scrolling. Hotel bookings, a couple of online shopping sprees, a high-end restaurant in another state. There was no way. I couldn't have been there. I couldn't have bought those things. I froze for a second, my brain just refusing to process it. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Jason. He had somehow gotten my credit card details. My fingers were shaking, but I texted him right then and there. Jason, why are there charges on my credit cards that I didn't make? Are you using my cards? A few minutes later, his reply came. It was classic Jason. Casual. Dismissive. What are you talking about? Haven't used your cards. Maybe you're just losing track of your own spending. I felt a white-hot flash of rage. I didn't even respond to him. Instead, I dug deeper. It didn't take a detective to connect the dots. The charges were linked to his online shopping accounts, even a hotel reservation for one of his buddies. I knew it. Without a doubt, he had stolen my information and had been on a little spending spree. The next morning, I went straight to him. He was lounging on the couch, gaming like nothing was wrong. He barely looked up. I stormed over, shoved my phone in his face, showing him the mountain of charges. Jason, I said, my voice shaking with anger, explain this. Why are there $5,000 in charges on my cards from places you've been? Did you steal my card info? He paused his game, and for a split second his eyes went wide. I saw it, the guilt, but it was gone in an instant, replaced by that cocky grin. What? Me? Nah. You probably just forgot you bought that stuff, Avery. I was fuming. Cut the crap, Jason. This is fraud. I'm reporting it. Whoa, calm down, he said, leaning back with this exaggerated sigh. I didn't do anything. Why are you always trying to make me look bad? He didn't even care. He wasn't even sorry. That evening, after I'd reported the fraud in my banks, I got a call from my parents. Come over, we need to talk. I thought, okay, maybe they'll be on my side. I was the victim, right? Wrong. I walked into the living room, and they were sitting there with these disappointed looks on their faces, as if I'd done something wrong. Son, my mom started, her voice way too calm. We need to talk about this credit card situation. I was immediately on the defensive. I've already reported it. Jason used my cards, and I'm not paying for it. That's the thing, though, my dad chimed in. Jason is going through a rough time. You need to help him out. I just stared at them, my jaw on the floor. Help him out? He scammed me. Family comes first. Avery, my mom said, her tone turning to ice. You need to keep the peace. Just pay it off. He's going through a phase. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And then they hit me with it. The ultimatum. If you don't pay this off, my dad said, his voice hard, you're cut off. No more family support. No more help with anything. I just stood there, stunned. They were giving me an ultimatum over Jason's fraud. I was beyond angry. This was about respect. It was about self-respect. And that's when I made my decision. Enjoy your lying son, I said, my voice shaking as I turned away from them. I'm done. And I walked out. I slammed the door behind me. And for a second, I felt this weird sense of freedom. Like I'd finally broken free from this toxic cycle. But that feeling was quickly replaced by a bitter, gnawing anger. My parents weren't just dismissing the fraud. They were siding with the person who betrayed me. They were willing to just throw me away to protect their perfect little son. The next few days were a blur. I didn't hear a word from them. Not one. It became clear they were just going to ignore me until I caved. But the anger inside me wasn't going to just fizzle out. I realized the best revenge wasn't going to be some petty lawsuit over a few $1,000s. No, the best revenge would be letting Jason face the real world for the first time in his life. Meanwhile, he was living it up on social media, acting like nothing had happened. He was partying, posting, living his best life with zero consequences, while I was left cleaning up his mess. With every post he shared, the anger just simmered. Then one evening, my phone lit up. A message from my mom. We need to talk. Can you come over? A tiny part of me felt a little hopeful. Maybe they'd seen the light. But the second I walked into their house, that hope was shattered. Jason was on the couch, looking smug as ever. My mom and dad sat across from him, their faces cold. Avery, my dad started, we've talked about this. You need to stop dragging our family through the mud. You're the one causing problems. I couldn't believe it. This was their response. You're defending someone who stole from me, lied to me, and used me. And you're blaming me? Jason just smirked. You're just mad because I'm doing better than you, Avery. That was it. That smug grin. I took a deep breath, the anger almost suffocating me, but I had to stay calm. I had to make them see. You think I'm mad because you're doing better than me? I said, my voice dangerously quiet. Jason's grin faltered just for a moment. No, Jason. I'm mad because you used me. You stole my money. You damaged my future. And you didn't even blink. And you, I said, glaring at my parents, you let him. The room was silent. They still didn't get it. They were still choosing him. Jason snorted. You're just bitter because mom and dad love me more. And that did it. I leaned in, my face inches from his, and let all the years of resentment pour out. You want to talk about love, Jason? I whispered. They don't love you for who you are. They love you because they've enabled every damn thing you've ever done. They've turned a blind eye every time you've hurt me. You're not loved, Jason. You're a liability they're too afraid to admit they created. For a second, it was like I'd landed a punch. But then my dad snapped. Avery, that's enough. You've gone too far. I just laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. Respect? You want respect? Then start respecting me. Start treating me like I actually matter. Then, just as I was about to leave, Jason sneered. Whatever. You'll come crawling back. You always do. I froze. Every part of me was screaming to just walk away. But I looked at him one last time. I won't come crawling back, Jason, I said, my voice colder than ice. I'm done. And trust me, you'll regret this. With that, I turned on my heel and walked out of their house for what I hoped would be the last time. It's been a few months now, and let's just say karma is a real thing. The first thing I did was work with the credit card companies. I got the fraud charges removed and clear my name. My credit took a hit, but I was free. What happened next was a slow burn. Jason's shiny job? He got laid off in a round of downsizing. No more cushy paycheck. His expensive habits caught up with him fast. He was drowning in debt. He went to my parents, but they were tired of bailing him out. And frankly, they were broke from years of funding his lifestyle. The fighting started. The bills piled up. The facade of their perfect family crumbled. I wasn't going to rub it in, but I can't deny it felt satisfying to watch their world implode. I, on the other hand, was finally taking control. I got a great opportunity at work, moved into a better apartment all on my own, and started to breathe again. Then, the perfect moment of revenge came. Not with a bang, but with a quiet little whimper. A family friend told me Jason was desperate. He needed a huge loan to pay off his debts and had asked our parents to co-sign. After everything, they finally said no. But here's the kicker. They started telling people that I should have stepped in, that I was heartless for not helping him. Can you believe that? After everything, I was still supposed to be his savior. A few weeks later, I got a text from my parents. A simple, "Can we meet up? We want to work things out." I actually laughed out loud. I didn't respond. I had one. Jason was alone. My parents were scrambling, and I had finally let go. I'm not proud of enjoying their downfall, but it felt like justice. Jason learned the hard way that no amount of favoritism could save him from himself. And me? I finally learned that I don't need them. I found peace in moving on, in choosing myself. Because in the end, I learned something important. Family doesn't come first. Not when it costs you yourself to be there.